The Bephanse.
The Bephanse Monthly.
Brought to you by
Bephanse.
In this week's episode, we confirm that Bephanse is definitely not a cult. Asterisk. So, guys, there's something I want to talk about this week. It's not going to be easy, but I think it's important that we address it.
Do tell.
We're different.
We are?
Go on.
What?
Wait, good?
What? I think for the past years and years, we kind of make jokes that we're cult-like, and some people that come into our orbit, if you will, and don't know us very well, will sometimes also make that accusation.
Perhaps.
And by sometimes, I mean all of the time. What is one of our favorite songs, actually, from Strangers with Candy, our favorite saying?
We're going to set the welcome table.
Yeah, how does that go? It's like you sing it, right?
I want to sit at the welcome table.
Think about it.
I want to sit at the welcome table one of these days. Hallelujah.
Good job, guys.
Thanks, Phil.
That was really great. Next week's episode, the Bephanse Family Singers. So I don't know. I think that little skit, that sketch from Strangers really resonates with us because I have a sneaking suspicion that we are a cult. And I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about that. First of all, how does it make you feel?
I think this is a witch hunt and I think this needs to stop. This is totally out of left field and uncalled for.
I'm not saying we're witches. I'm saying I think we're a cult, and I have a lot of evidence to support this.
What is this, the 1950s, McCarthy? Stop these accusations immediately.
Too soon, Matt. It's too soon. I mean, there's a lot of...
what are you thinking, Sarah? What are some of the things you're thinking about with these accusations?
Well, I'm bringing this up, but you guys seem kind of defensive. Like, are you in a place to even hear this? This is kind of like an intervention, I feel like.
An intervention of one against many?
Yes. Okay, Exhibit A. We have our creepy blood in, blood out policy with Bephanse.
Okay.
Go on.
Where once you're in, you can't leave, no matter how terrible of a member you are. Once you're in, you're always in, unless you die, which we have tried many times to no avail. Just asterisk, we have not. There's also the whole creepy thing about the way that we've established ourselves. Like, you can only be in Bephanse if you went through the same ritual, which is like going to Camino and having those sweatshirts and things like that. I don't know. So I feel like we have like an establishing ritual. We have a blood in, blood out policy. We have Exhibit C, charismatic leaders with religious undertones.
And overtones. Well, I don't know. I think the whole group mentality, I'm not sure what I would call it cult-like, because I don't think we really have irrational behaviors and things that we do that normal people don't do, that we force our membership to do.
Like what?
Like, sure, we had everyone dress up like mafiosos and go to an Italian restaurant at Pike Place Market in an event deemed Mafia Night. But, besides that...
Sure, there's photos of us on an annual basis around the winter solstice with a man in red where we're all wearing the exact same thing, creepily staring at a camera, surrounded by small children. But...
And sure, we have elaborate rituals and ceremonies at the Pancake Haus.
True, but that doesn't make us a cult, per se.
I kind of think it does.
It feels like we need some expert advice here to really delve into these topics and tell us, what is a cult and what do we need to be wary of? Because I think Bephanse, while I don't think we are a cult, I think we are a staunch and vigilant defender against cults in general in our society. And we want to be aware of what's out there and wary of what we need to be looking out for to protect people in our community.
Yeah, if we had more facts, then we could allow our listener to make the decision.
That's right.
Well, okay, the good news is I think we're called. The great news is I have a special guest for us this week. Our listener might not know that I am studying to be a mental health therapist. I honestly think my humble beginnings with the sociopath known as Bephanse have set me up very nicely for this. And I have Professor Long on the line, and she's one of my instructors, and she's been so blessed to read about Bephanse in most of my term papers / test subject cases.
What?
And she's also really, really well versed in cult psychology and phenomena like Stockholm Syndrome. So I thought she'd be interesting to talk to us and confirm my suspicions that we are a cult. So welcome, Professor Long.
Welcome.
Yay.
Thank you so much for having me.
So, Professor, tell us a little bit more about yourself and your professional background in this area.
So as Sarah mentioned, I would consider myself an expert in cult psychology. I've had the pleasure of having her in several classes, and I feel as though on top of this information that was just provided to me, I have a good basis of a background as to what Bephanse is and what y'all stand for.
Good to hear.
Excellent.
What are some of the cults that you've studied, and what are the most prolific and influential cults to be aware of?
Or what are some of the characteristics of a cult that you think we should watch out for?
To answer both those questions, if I may, the Kool-Aid cult, the Skittles cult, and probably the most deadly, the Snicker cult, of what I've been studying. And then it's just as far as some brief sort of traits of cults.
Wait, hang on. Tell me more about the Snicker cult. What the hell? Because I want to be a part of that.
Yes, and also, is there, to your knowledge, an airhead cult out there, or is that still an untapped option?
Oh, no, they're definitely out there. It's just that the Snicker cult seems to be always hungry, and why wait has killed them. So
you're saying that there's still room to ride the wave of the Snicker cult?
I mean, yeah, it's I wouldn't recommend it, but it's happening.
They're dangerous.
Is there room to taste the rainbow of the Skittles cult? The gayest of the cults?
Actually, it's a pretty homophobic cult, I must say.
Oh, wow.
It's tricky like that.
That's really surprising.
That's how they get the gays.
And Marshawn Lynch is not involved with this, though. Can we just clarify? I'm assuming.
I can neither confirm nor deny that.
I can confirm and I can deny that.
So, Professor, what are some of the characteristics of these cults that make them so persuasive and dangerous?
Well, I'll start with, I've got a list here for you. Cults usually have a strong group mentality in which it's us versus them. So they usually have a difficult time interacting with a larger society.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
That's interesting.
Go on.
Yeah, on top of that, there's usually sort of an excessive zealous leader in which the ideology and the beliefs are dictated down to other group members, and they're really not allowed to question the beliefs. That's not allowed usually in a cult membership.
Jared.
What would happen if someone were to question the beliefs? How would that person be
dealt with?
Brought back in line?
Asking for a friend.
Asking for a friend.
I mean, I think that there's everything from death to being kicked out of the group to locked in a basement. So it really is a broad range.
We've tried them all.
Go on, Professor. This is shocking and hitting close to home. What are other characteristics?
Yeah, let's see here. Members must give an inordinate amount of time to the group. There's a lot of commitment involved in these groups. And rarely do cults like their members to socialize outside of their determined group.
Oh my god.
That makes sense. You wouldn't want people to be mixing with the rest of society, otherwise they might be diluted in terms of their commitment to the values and beliefs.
No, absolutely.
I want to point out that the more we learn, the more terrified I become, but the more emboldened Jared becomes.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure Jared is our charismatic leader.
Also, Professor Long, is there any kind of coordination in the dress of these cults and their membership, something to set them apart from the rest of society?
Oh, that's interesting that you asked that, because earlier you had mentioned sort of this Mafia Night, and a lot of cults will sort of get their members to dress in the same way and to go out into larger society to sort of give their group that elite, special, exalted status that many cults enjoy.
And do cults have any like special meetings, or is it all kind of hidden, or how, I guess, what kind of meeting structure do they have?
Yeah, and my extensive research in Canada and the Midwest, it seems that a lot of cults meet up at pancake houses.
Oh my god.
Uh-oh.
You guys.
Oh dear lord.
I have a bad feeling about this, you guys.
Whose idea was it to bring this person on here, this charlatan?
Look, we've been talking about this, and she's pointed out in my papers, like, Sara, I think you're in a cult. Call your dad. And so I wanted to, bring this to your attention, because I want you to see the truth. I think Bephanse is a cult.
In my expert opinion, Bephanse is definitely a cult.
What? Professor.
Well, nobody saw that coming.
Think carefully before you continue. Professor, is there anything else are there any doubts? Are there anything else you would like us to answer for you so that we can show you that we're not a cult?
Ooh, that's going to be a heavy order. Let me see here. Yeah, I think it's been am I speaking with Jared right now?
That is correct.
Jared, when other group members would like to date, or let's say do something as far as change a job, must they talk with you first before doing so?
Absolutely.
It is highly encouraged, and especially with the question of dating, we very much discourage dating within our ranks. We like to encourage our members to date outside in order to bring those folks into the family of Bephanse.
But let's just say that when one does start dating someone new, Jared is very awkward and cold about it unless he's signed off on it first.
You're definitely a cult.
There is a thorough vetting process.
So it's definitely a cult.
And Professor Long, do you have a moral obligation to report cults when you come upon them?
It's not, I mean, I don't have like a CPS number at this point, but that's part of my research, is to develop such a number.
Oh, wow. What is a CTS number?
Oh, sorry, CPS, Child Protective Services, and so we'll do the cult protective services as soon as I can get my grant money.
Oh my God! Wow.
Quick, hide Denny and Joey in the corner.
You're gonna say,
throw them in the basement.
The sons of Bephanse are in trouble.
The sons of Bephanse better watch out.
Professor, I sincerely hope that your participation in this illustrious podcast will help you to get that grant money.
I appreciate that, Sarah.
And we expect a cut of the grant money as well.
Well, this is terrible news.
This is terrible news. Very distressing.
And shocking, quite frankly.
Very shocking.
Is it shocking?
It wasn't.
It's not.
Illusions of grandeur come to mind.
And just to confirm, you are, Professor Long, you are a completely legitimate, absolutely true, not fictitious professor, correct?
That is correct. Wink.
Asterisk.
Excellent. Well, this has been very insightful for all of us, I'm sure.
It certainly has been for me. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you very much, Professor, for your time today.
Yes, thank you.
So, in summary, Bephanse is absolutely a cult, and nobody is shocked. And in related news, we have some rebranding to do.
Sarah, do you have a closing news segment for us?
We do. This is from ABC News. A Dallas evangelist told his followers that an anointed cake baked by hookers turned a gay man straight. The evangelist bills himself as a Christian consultant who says he helped get President Donald Trump elected. This is crazy, he said. Now, I'm not saying this is going to work for you, but some hookers in this bar it's worked great for.
Have a wonderful day.
Asterisk 1, Bephanse is probably a cult.
Asterisk 2, even in death, Bephanse owns your soul.
Asterisk 3, she wasn't.
Bephanse. Choosy moms choose Bephanse since 2003.